Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap morning market analysis and trade plan setup for Thursday, October the 10th, 2013. If you're visiting us from Twitter or you're watching on YouTube, Quantum Leap is a self-organized learning environment. We have been around for about 4 years just as a private group. We have a Skype chat that is a 24-hour chat room. If you'd like to check it out, you'll need a Skype account. You can open up one. It's free to open up and very quick to do. And then you can send me a contact request at Doug_McKay. This is where we talk about the market, and we've got some good traders in there. Also, we do a live trade room that will start after the morning session. Each morning we come together and we go through a routine and get ready to trade the regular trading hours. And this is our morning market session. And welcome. If you have any questions or you want to get more information, you can also email me at dm@m4connects.com. By the way, if you do send me a contact request, I am the Doug McKay from Windsor, Ontario, Canada. There's a few of them there, but just look for the one from Windsor. Yep, I'm a hoser, eh? And then if you want, you can call my office line, and just make sure you call me after hours. Anyway, we're going to go through a routine this morning, and if you're watching after the fact, you might want to skip ahead. We do a process where we go through our homework sheet that we've been keeping for several years, and then we do some very basic trend analysis on the charts, but then we get into some more deeper analysis based on volume profile with me, and then Howard comes on and does the Elliott wave and fib count and his analysis. But before we do anything, we do have to get the disclaimer out of the way. This information is for the purpose of educating members who want to expand their knowledge of the business of trading. It's not for trading or investment advice. Only you are responsible for the trades or investment decisions you make. Trading futures or any instrument involves the risk loss. Please consider carefully whether futures or options are appropriate to financial situation. Only risk capital should be used when trading futures or options. Investors can lose more than their initial investment. Nobody from Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and any trades you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own plan. Do your own diligence. So the first thing that we like to do is we like to go through our data. What we do is we've been keeping this sheet. We've got probably about 600 days of data that we've been keeping on different levels based on different methodologies. And what happens is when we build the sheet, it ends up going into what we call our QLTP, our Quantum Leap Trade Planner. And what it is, a ladder above and below the previous day close. It's got the news on it. It's got a little worksheet for some of the studies that we watch. It's got your open highs, lows. It's got your daily, weekly, and monthly pivots. And then it's got volume profile, key levels of acceptance and rejection. It's got weekly support, daily support, moving averages, naked crosses, a whole bunch of different methodologies, so that our members, this is put out into the Quantum Leap chat room each morning, or each evening I should say, so that when you're trading you can see where there's confluence within different methodologies and where other traders that are trading those methodologies may activate, so that it can guide you in your own trading and help you with your trading. But we go through a process to get ready, and what I like to do is review the numbers so I have them fresh in my mind before I start trading. So we take a look at the macro to the micro in terms of the numbers. So of course the key number above us is 1726.75. That is our year high, our all-time high. Our year open and low are way below us. They're not going to be a factor. Our month open 1678.50, month high 1692.25. We have a new lower month low at 1640. Our previous month open is 1640 and a quarter, which is right there. Our previous month high is the all-time high and the year high at 1726.75. Of course, this number was put in the Globex. The RTH high is 1723.75. Our previous month low 1630.75. Previous month close 1678.75. Our week open on Sunday in the globe at 1676.75. Our week high 1679.50. Our week low is new at 1640, which is also our month low. Our previous week open, we opened at 1675, high of 92.25, low of 63.25. Where I think we're trading somewhere around 64, 63 area right now. And then our previous close is 1682. Nothing changes in the quarterly except for the new quarterly low. Going right to the intraday numbers, yesterday in the Globex we had a Globex open of 1648, a Globex high of 1658.25, a Globex low of 1647.50, and we opened the RTH. And you can see, other than a couple, spots, we've been basically trending down. The red means that you've got a lower number, green means you have a higher number, white means it's the same. We opened the RTH at 1652.75 and we opened in range, so we had an open auction in range. We broke the initial balance high and low, so we created a neutral day. Remember, a lot of times neutral begets neutral, so we have a good probability for a rotational day. Whether it'll be another neutral day, whether or not it'll be a rotational day, problem is we've got headline risk, so anything can happen with news that's coming out if it comes out. Our opening swing high yesterday, 1653.25. Opening swing low, 1650 for a 3.25 point opening swing. And that is one of the clues that we look for, a wide opening swing or a disparity within the market on open orders. That gives us a wide swing, and generally that's going to lead to a rotational day, which definitely did yesterday. Our initial balance high, 1653.25. Initial balance low, 1646.75 for a 6.5 point initial balance, well within the norm. Our 1230 number, all numbers in here are central. We watch the 1230 number because it's a time that traders come back from lunch and either accelerate the trend or reverse the trend, so we like to know where we are within going into the afternoon. So we track that number, 1653.50, it's lower. Our RTH high was lower at 1656.75, our low was lower at 1640, our close was lower at 1648.75, and our VPOC, our most traded price in the day, volume point of control, is lower at 1652.50. Our range for yesterday, 16.75 in the RTH, 18.25 in the full session, and 10.75 in the Globex. Full session high, 1658.25. Full session low, 1640. Our RTH 20-day range, ATR 14.23, 15.96 for the full session, and 8.5 for the Globex. Our Globex open last night was slightly higher, 2 ticks higher at 1648.50. Our European cash close yesterday at 10:30 Central, 1642.50. Our value area high was lower at 1654. Value area low was lower at 1646 for an 8-point value area. And then we broke the IB to the low side, just outside of the pocket. We run a time study for when the probability of the break of the initial balance high or low, and the highest probability is between when it is set at 9:30 and what we call inside the pocket, which is 9:45. We broke it just outside. The second highest probability is that 9:45 to 10 a.m. Central. Our extended session high was lower at 1649.25. Our extended session low was actually higher at 1647.75, and we closed higher and settled at 1648 for a 1.25 point extended session. And an extended session is from that 3:30 Central to 4:15 Central. And we're just slightly under our 20-day ATR, which is running 1.79 for the extended session, and our volume again was heavy at 2.2 and 2.4. I mean, I made a comment in the live room many times yesterday that the algos were in control yesterday. It was just amazing if you're watching your dome. Going over to the daily report, we're still in this balance area, so nothing really changes in terms of the CHVNs, composite high volume nodes, and composite low volume nodes. I mean, the big one above us is still that 1675. It is your composite VPOC, or the most traded price in 2013. And it's right in that area of high-level undetermined fair value. And we'll talk about that when we get into the composite chart. In terms of naked crosses, we took one out at 1653.75. and we added one at 1649.75. Of course, this was taken out overnight. And we'll actually put the new naked crosses into the chart, our trading chart for the day. Our naked VPOCs, we took out the 1656 and we added 1652.50 as yesterday's VPOC. In terms of news, we had unemployment claims. Did they actually come out with them? Were they able to put them out with no government? I don't know. I wasn't watching. I was trying to get ready here, but they already came out. Bullard speaking today. Were they, Sam? Were they better, or they are above expected? Okay. So didn't get much of a reaction as far as I can tell. We've got Bullard speaking at 8:45. And then we've got natural gas. We've got 30-year bond, and then we've got Tarillo speaking at 12:45. But again, the major news right now is your headline risk and whether or not Boehner and Obama can come to some type of an agreement and get the government back to work. All right, next thing we like to do is take a look at the trends to know where we are within our macro to micro trends. Monthly, very much intact, the trend. Good slope on the 9 EMA and the 20 SMA. We are trading in the middle of last month's distribution. Trend is very much intact on the monthly. On the daily or weekly, we had our first close a couple weeks ago below the 20 all year. That was the first one. We were trading, below the 20, the other day. We've now popped back up and we're trading between the 9 and the 20. But you can see that there is weakness coming in on the weekly. There's a possible head and shoulder set up, so we've got to keep an eye out on that. Going to the daily. Daily shows the weakness coming in. Again, another possible head and shoulder pattern. Don't know if it's going to play out. We came down, created this tech gap prior to yesterday, and then so far we've come up in the Globex to close that tech gap. We've got a naked cross. A naked cross, for those that are new or visiting, is when the 9 EMA crosses over the 20 SMA and price action moves away from the cross. In other words, it's, you don't get a candle that goes up and tests it. And this one's just barely naked, and it's up at 1687.57. Now we watch them on the 5, the 15, and the 30 minute for our intraday. But a good example of one getting closed out is here's one right here that was put in, and what does the market do? Goes up, comes down, comes back and tests that price again. Another example is this one right here. We still have one down here that's naked down at that 1611 area, and of course that's another target for us below on the long term. But this is a daily, so we're not expecting that to be hit within this trading day. Just taking a look at the geometric chart, I had Melissa. She did some work on some charts, and I've made some changes on mine. We've got this upward sloping fork here, and then the modified shift fork here, and we've got this energy point above at 1708. That is basically within this area of the two upward sloping forks and then the opposing downward sloping fork. And yesterday we were breaking out, and we came down and we tested from the upper line of the downward sloping fork. We came down and tested the center line as expected. Now we've come back up and bounced off the center line, and we're now in the longer term fork and coming off the bottom of this new fork that we added in. We have two energy points that you want to keep an eye on. This one a little bit further out in time at 1670, but the one right here is, and we talked about this yesterday, that is it possible that we can get this blow off top within, this is set for the 14th. so that's next week. Do we have enough ATR to get back up to this? Well, I think if we have news coming out of a government settlement and some type of agreement to extend or raise the debt ceiling, then I think this number is totally possible. But that's the number that I'm watching right now that's really coming into significance. And I just wanted to go over to this chart, just if you want to talk about symmetry. This was I was looking at the trading day. This was yesterday's RTH session, and you can see we had that V bottom, and they came back up, and then they sold it off. And man, if you look at how much symmetry that we had, on the day. And then we created this, this modified shift fork, and what did we do? We broke out of that symmetry in the Globex, and we rode this fork up just beautifully. I actually had a really nice Globex trade last night. I put that equilibrium sheet in the trade room, which is a trade that's kind of a holdover from a site I will leave nameless, but it's a Globex trade that's based on a reversion to the mean, and it's a reversion back towards that 1230 number that we track. And it's one of the trades, that and the RB3 breakout trade, that I have continued to trade because of the fact that it does have a high winning percentage. It does have a good expectancy. So any time that you find that the close is 5 to 10 points away from that 1230 number, pull up that sheet and go through, and you can run the trade, and it's a pretty good trade. I wrote it up. I got out of it at 59.75, but it was a great trade. So let's go over to the composite chart. We're currently trading above that 65.75 CLVN. We're getting back up towards this distribution zone. This distribution zone has the composite VPOC at 75. The balance that we fell out of, the micro composite VPOC, is 76.50. Then you've got that 78.50, and then you've got the 80.25, which was prior to the shift of the composite VPOC, was the most traded price in 2013. It shifted when we came down and traded back down here a few more days. So if we get back up there, you can probably see a shift again. But the point that I keep talking about in these morning sessions is, in this area we have these basically 4 undetermined fair value within this balance zone. So it's going to be choppy if we get back up in here. I think you're going to see some rotation between these points as we continue to mature this distribution zone. The value area high on this is 82.50, which is right near that minor CLVN at 82.25. The value area low is 1669.75. So if we get into the 1669.75, I would be looking for a rotation to 71 and then 75 as as they search for sellers, as the auctions up and is in price discovery looking for sellers. It's going to rotate back up into this area here to see if it can pick up sellers where it knows that both the buyers and sellers like to do business. Key line in the sand is 65.75. If we get below it, then I'd be looking for a rotation down to that CHVN at 63.75, the former microcomposite VPOC, which is where we started that run up to the first year high, which was the 17.05, adjusted to 1698.50 in the September or in the December contract. But that was our first move, and then they came down to it. They tested it, moved back up again, couldn't hold value down up there, fell through it, came down to where it started below and chopped around in there, and then made another move up. But 63.75 is where the first attempt started. We've come down and tested it, bounced back up into the distribution up here, the balance, and then fell down. We came down to that target we were looking at all last week, at 47, 48 area. Currently right now, when they came down here, they found balance and buyers at 1649 and was able to hold there and make a move back up. And currently, they're making those moves in the Globex. And so if we get below 65.75, look for 63.75, a test to the other side of that balance at 60.50, and then if we get below that, a move back down into this area again. And then, below that, you've got another blunt area on the composite with a lot of undetermined fair value. Going to see a lot of chop back in here as we did. But the big number, below the 47 for me is going to be that 31. Which was the composite microcomposite VPOC, I should say, on this shoot for a move up, and right here for the shoot to the gap up, that where they found buyers before. So 31 is going to be a big level. And then, on that, geometric chart, we were talking about the 1611, 1613 area. Well, there it is right there at that 1613, and former microcomposite at 1614. So, I don't think we're going to get down there, but if we do, have a big, huge flush, this is where the next support level I'm anticipating. If we continue to move up and we get good news and they shoot this thing up, the other side of balance at 82, above 82, look for the value area low at 86. You've got that 84.75 CHVN we were talking about last week, and then if we get through that, the test of the 87.50 and get inside of this value here, and then the big number above is that 1695 area, with the other side of balance being the centennial number and the 1701 CLVN. Let's just look at what we did overnight and move our numbers over to our trade chart. 1647.75 is our overnight low. Just below the midpoint from yesterday. Our current high, and it could change between now and the RTH open, but it is our current high at 68.25. I forgot to take all my, hold on a second, I just got to delete some prior levels. All right, so we've got the overnight high at 68.25, which happens to be that naked cross. There's a naked cross coming into to play there as well. It looks like we're going to actually probably make a higher overnight low. A higher overnight high. Current overnight VPOC is 64.50. All right, and then we've got that naked cross at 73.25. We've got one down at 60.50, 60.50. We've got one at 16.56.50, just below yesterday's range high. And that's all the naked cross we've got here. So we're going to open up out of auction, okay? And we talked about this in the homework session the other day, yesterday actually. And it's too bad we don't have the recording, but I had a problem with my recording. Anytime you see a double distribution or a triple distribution, okay, there's a high probability within the next couple sessions that will come and test the other distribution zones. Well, we're coming up, and we're coming up into these two upper distributions overnight. We came through. Now we're going to open out of range, and we're going to have a fairly large gap. So the gap, the gap close is going to be 1648.75. Okay, so we're gonna have about a 20-point or greater gap. So this is where you've got to look for initiative buyers stepping in and just taking us up further. But the first destination that I'd be looking for is for them to go and take the overnight high and get back up into this overnight or this prior day upper distribution level. And then you've got an LVN just below at 65. So 65 is going to be an area that I'm going to be looking to do business, because if we get below that, then I'd be looking to come down here and test that value area high from 2 days ago at 62.75 in the HVN there. And if we just look on the chart, that's going to be back into the CHVN at 63.75. So back into below that 65.75, which is basically right there at that that LVN from Tuesday. Another area that I'll be looking to do business is if we get above the prior Tuesday range high. I'll be looking to get further long and for the rotation into that 75-76 level. So that's going to be an area I'll be looking to do business with the targets above 73 and a quarter, 75, naked cross at 76, naked VPOC at 76.50, and the micro composite VPOC at 76.50, and then a chop in between this level. You've got 82.75 naked VPOC, a gap close at 16.84. We are making and you've got a gap close up there, and just that 84.75. But I think if we get back up into this this level here, we're going to be rotating inside of there. Of course, if we come down and we get back below the 65.75 and we come into this lower distribution, just on the other side of that balance, the LVN from Tuesday is right there at 59.50, or more importantly, the CLVN at 60.50. So that will be an area that I'll be looking to do business, of course, with the intent of coming down and testing this 16.56.75 range high from yesterday, which will be also an area that I'll be looking for responsive buyers to step in there, reject the range, and come back up in towards that 60.50, and then break through that 60.50 up to 63. But if we get into yesterday's range, then I'd be looking for a rotation back towards the 54 value area high and the naked VPOC at 52.75 with the close and the naked cross and the overnight low all in this lower distribution, and with the other side of value being down at 16.46, and I'll be looking to do business there if we get down there as well. But again, we're going to open way out of range, so gap fill rules apply. Let's just do a really quick calculation. We're trading 67-ish right now, 67, and our gap is 48.75. So a half gap fill is going to be in that 57-58 area. But again, it's highly likely that initiative buyers step in here and push this thing even further up towards the 75. But you don't know. Taking a look at the Keltner, an upper Keltner test will bring us up to 69.50, which will bring us up to the overnight high, that naked cross, and the open from Tuesday at 69. Keltner center line test 63.75. Well, that's that CHVN, and then lower Keltner line test down at 58. And again, that's also that was a former CHVN. We kind of filled it in with that, the breakout day. But it'll bring us down to test the other side of this balance in the second distribution zone. Taking a quick look at gold, we're just back below the 1300 again. We're trying to hold that 1300 and stay within the value that we've been trading around the microcomposite VPOC at 1318. If we get through here, the targets below are 91.90 and that 1284.80 again, with a test of the range low and getting back into this distribution zone. If we really break down, the other side of balance is down here at 1262.50. But I'm not expecting a real big breakdown. Maybe come down into this level to pick up buyers again for another move to test 1300. If we get back up above 1300, then I'd be looking for a breakthrough the CLVN at 1304 and then a move back up into balance in that 1318 area, with the value area high at 26, with the CHVN at 24.25, and the other side of balance being 1337. Gold's going to be a little bit tough to trade the next couple days, in my personal opinion. Anyway, that's what I'm looking at. Howard, over to you.
Getting close to the open, so I'll make this brief. Looking at the weekly chart, we had tested this week below this 20 SMA line. We rejected it. We're still below the 9 EMA, so we're contained between those two levels at the moment. Weekly is starting to form a bit of a hammer pattern, which could be bullish. We have today and tomorrow left to go this week to let this pattern play out. So that's something to be on the lookout for. So now let's go take a look at the daily. So we've had fell off from 1726.75, which was our all-time high. Yesterday we put in a doji with a lower low. So far during the blowbacks, we've had strong buying come in. We've come up and tested the daily 9 EMA. And as of a couple of days ago, the 9 EMA had crossed below the 50 SMA. As of the second, it crossed below the 20 SMA. So key levels will be this 9 EMA today. If we get above there, the 50 SMA at 1673.75 will be a next resistance area. And in terms of fib levels, when we came down to this low here, the 786 retracement, bring the chart in. So the 0.786 retracement level was here at 1646.75. We clearly breached that a bit, but did not hold below. And since then, buyers have stepped in, and that's the 786 retracement from this last swing low here on August 28th up to the all-time high at 1726.75. So if we continue with any conviction below this level, then that would be a bearish indication. I would then have a, as we go lower than that level, the probabilities increase that we take out this last swing low here at 1624.75 eventually. If this level holds, then it's possible for more buying to come in to structure as we came down here. I mean, there's a lot of red candles, but the pattern isn't real distinct in terms of it being an impulsive pattern lower. This could be just a three-wave retracement potentially, where we have an A, B, and a C. So if we take a quick peek at fib extensions, the 100% AB equals CD would be down at 1632 1/4. Thus far, the fib extension is pretty much at the 78.6 level of the A wave. So, very indistinct pattern here to make out. We'll see if this 9 EMA that we tested in the Globex holds. The resistance above that would be the 50 SMA. So, take a quick peek at the internals. Dow Transport still maintaining their space and separation above the Dow Industrials, so no non-confirmations as has been the case all year for them. We hate these new changes to TOS here in terms of bringing up studies. That worked. Okay, that looks like it worked. Okay, so this is a look at the advanced decline and up-down volume. We can see that both price and these stats peaked at the 18th of September. These are 10-day average basis of advanced declines in the middle chart, and for up-down volume in the lower chart, we can see both are now well below the 50% level, which is where the parity level is of equal advances versus declines or equal up volume versus down volume. Both have clearly fallen below. Currently, the advanced declines are at about 43% for both the NYSE in blue and the NASDAQ in red, and also right in the 43% area for up volume versus down volume. So market momentum is still weakening. So we'll see if we get continued buying coming into the markets today and tomorrow. See if that starts forming a bottom here or not. But up until now, it's looking pretty weak. So with that, I will conclude. We have just over 5 minutes to open, Doug.
Thank you, Howard. That will conclude our morning market analysis and trade plan setup. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.